Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be answering some FAQs that I commonly get here on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram. So if you are interested in hearing what I have to say for January 2021, definitely stay tuned for this video. First question, am I licensed? I am a licensed nail technician. I am licensed in the state of Nevada and I am licensed in Illinois. I am based in Chicago, Illinois. I used to live in Las Vegas, Nevada for 12 years. But then once I graduated from college, graduated from nail school, I decided to come back to Chicago, Illinois, where I'm originally from. So I am licensed in 2 states, but I reside in the state of Illinois. I do fly back to Las Vegas and I do work typically March, February. Illinois, my original license is in Nevada, and then I got endorsed here in Illinois as a nail tech. In Nevada, I had over 900 credit hours to become a nail technician. They only require 6, but because I'm an overachiever, I got 900 hours versus nail technician license here in Illinois. They only require you to have 300 hours. So I simply had to just take the exam again and just pay my fees. And that was basically it on how to become licensed in Chicago, Illinois. Well, Illinois specifically. For me to become licensed here, I had my endorsement sent from Nevada to Illinois. How do I build clientele? Okay, I don't really know how to even answer this question on how I build clientele. I literally just post nails on my Instagram and I just put my hashtags and just call it a day. Building clientele, I mean, just having good communication skills when you do get new people, but I've kind of been lucky with building clientele because of the art skill that I do have. I really haven't had to do certain stuff to build clientele. There are things that I have done now. Wait, let me take that back. There is something I have done that has helped build clientele. And that is my Drippy Nails freestyle that I do for my clientele. Overall, building my clientele, I simply just post and go and post my hashtags, and that seemed to work for me as a nail tech. How long have I been a nail technician? So I've been a licensed nail technician for it'll be 2 years in May. So May 2019 is when I graduated from nail technology school, became licensed in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I started working as a licensed nail technician. So once I graduated from nail tech school, I went straight to a booth. I had a shop that was already looking for me to work for them. So I just jumped into it. I jumped into a booth. I would not recommend that for someone that is new into nails unless you're really, really talented and you know you got this stuff like down to a T and you have something to offer that the average regular schmo can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're fresh out into nail school, you usually gotta have clientele and things like that already before you get into booth, because I wouldn't recommend getting out of nail school and finding a booth because you're gonna have to have foot traffic unless they already have foot traffic coming into the salon. But this particular salon was brand new, so I already had clientele. I knew it was gonna be fine for me. So went straight into booth, left that salon. One thing I will say, being a new nail tech, do not feel like you have to stay somewhere. If the place is going to jeopardize your license or you're not going to be mentally or physically okay, leave. That's basically my situation leaving the shops. I'm not going to risk my license, basically was the reasons why I was switching shops a lot. So first shop didn't work out, sanitation reasons. Second shop, sanitation reasons. I was working in a chop shop. My views on chop shops, I did a YouTube video on working in a chop shop. My views have definitely changed regarding that. I want to do a YouTube video covering the truth behind a lot of these chop shops, but I really don't feel like, getting into the conspiracies of the government and things like that on this channel. So I'm probably not going to, but that video, I definitely do need to touch bases on that video, because now that I've done some research and I now have an understanding, I kind of understand why things are done a certain way, I kind of sympathize. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do a YouTube video, but I will say definitely do some research on chop shops and why a lot of bills and licenses and things like that were coming into the 60s and 70s, but that's a conspiracy video, so we're gonna save that for another channel. We're not gonna really do that here. So anyways, like, I had left that salon and then I went to a predominantly all black nail salon. I have another video covering that one, and that is going off of the fraudulent activity. And lastly, I worked at another salon. The last salon that I worked in Las Vegas was rated at the time #1 salon. It's in my last video, one of my videos. I'm not gonna name drop any of these salons or anything just for legality reasons. I'm not gonna speak on them, but if you look up the #1 rated salon in Las Vegas as of 2019, I'm not sure if they still are. I was working at that salon before I moved to Illinois. I moved to Illinois December 2019, and I clearly moved at the wrong time because 2020, we saw what happened in 2020. So I've been a licensed nail tech since May. I really only have like 6 months of like real experience in the real open world as a nail technician, but it's been trial and error for me. So it's been pretty much going pretty good for myself as a nail technician. But building my clientele and things like that kind of came already with me working in Las Vegas and then moving out here. Like, I already had a following and things like that, so that kind of just came with the territory. So building clientele was really easy. And again, I've only been a licensed nail tech since May 2019. What type of brush do I use for my acrylic application? So when it comes to my acrylic application, I use the same brush that I've used since nail school, which is a size 8 Pana brush. I love Pana. I'll show you guys a little picture right here. I really like Pana. I've tried other brushes as well. All the other brushes that I have do work really well, but with my instructor teaching me, she told me that a size 8 brush is the best brush to use, and I have not changed in size no matter how long the length of nails. I always use a size 8 brush. One thing that I've noticed, using a size 8 brush, I'm able to do more detailed acrylic artwork with that compared to a larger brush. So just for my art style and things like that, a size 8 acrylic brush works best for me personally, regardless of how long the nails are. Yes, it may take a little bit longer. Yes, I may switch out brushes depending on what I'm doing with the acrylic. If I'm encapsulating, if I'm doing a marble design, I use different brushes depending on what art style I'm using, but my go-to brush is my size 8 Pana pink and blue brush. That is my go-to. I've had that brush since I was in nail school. If you take care of your brushes, they will last forever. So just take care of your brushes, but that is the size brush that I personally like to use. How long does it take me to freehand paint? Okay, so when it comes to my freehand painting, it really depends on what the client wants and what I'm doing. The longest I've ever done a set of nails was a total of 8 hours. I did some KOD nails. I'll pop them in right here. I did some KOD nails, and those took me about a total of 7 to 8 hours to freehand paint, which was a long time. That's not on top of the acrylic. So I had to first put the acrylic on my hands, and I just did a simple base clear acrylic because I was going to do simply just artwork, and then I painted on top of it. So a total of maybe like 10, 11 hours for that complete set on one hand was for that KOD set. That's the longest it's taken me. But typically when it comes to my artwork, I've started to notice a lot of people book for about an hour, 2-hour session. I do have a nail art session hourly rate. I charge by the hour when it comes to my nail art versus, you know, by each design. It's just easier for me as an artist. So I charge by the hour, and then I always set a timer on the side of me so me and the client can look at the time, how much we have left. And then depending on if I get done faster, I deduct the time, and then they pay the remaining for whatever time that it took me to complete their look. So if they booked for 2 hours and I finished in 1 hour and 30 minutes, they pay the difference. Even though they booked for 2 hours, I was able to work within that time frame and I deduct the cost. If I do go over, I do not charge them over. So I do like to give myself a little bit extra time, and I rather deduct instead of telling them, hey, it's going to take this certain amount of time and then it runs over, and then, you know, it's not the client's fault that I'm running over, it's taking me longer. So instead of me having to bite the charge, I just rather book for the amount of time that I feel like I may need for the session, so then I can just deduct from the overall cost of that nail art session. So I'm going to answer these next two questions in one. So the first question is, do I have any nail art classes? Do I host any? And two, my favorite nail acrylic that I like to use. Okay, so to first start off, when it comes to my acrylic artwork, when it comes to my painting, when it comes to nail art classes, I do have a Patreon where you guys can watch and learn acrylic painting on nails. I don't have a virtual class for nails currently for online, but I do have a watch to learn similar to here on my YouTube channel, but specifically for acrylic painting. So if you guys want to watch and learn my technique and my style as to acrylic painting, you guys can definitely check that out on my Patreon, which is linked in the description box below. That is ongoing. It's kind of like YouTube but 2.0. You guys will get videos just like this, but since you guys are on Patreon and you guys are paying on Patreon, I do give you guys a little more insight as to being a nail tech, giving you guys more insight as to being a mobile nail tech, how to help build clientele, also see some more behind the scenes of seeing like how I did these fairy nails, for instance. You guys can check that out and literally watch step by step how I painted with acrylic paint, learn tips and tricks. So you guys can definitely check that out, my Patreon, and watch and learn acrylic painting. When it comes to my acrylic design and my acrylic products, one of my favorite go-to brands is Young Nails. I love and I rave about them. That is my base. When it comes to my simple acrylic, I use Young Nails. I do use other brands like Glam and Glitz or what is it? I'm drawing a blank, guys. I use so many other products, but Glam and Glitz, Kiara Sky, and there's another one that I use all the time, but I'm drawing a blank. I cannot remember the name of it, but there are 3 brands that I really, really like. Yes, I like Valentino. Valentino is a really nice brand. There are some brands that I particularly do not like at all, and I do not like Mia Secret. Excuse me, I do not like Mia Secret. One of the reasons why I don't like Mia Secret is I tried it in nail school one time and I realized how runny it was, and no, we not using Mia Secret. I really feel like it's a great starter brand if you're just starting off doing nails, but for someone that's paying $200 to $400 for nails, I would not be putting Mia Secret on my clientele. I personally don't feel like it's a good product. Personally, that's just me personally. That's my opinion. To each his own. But me personally, I do not like Mia Secret. I really feel like it's runny. The bead ratio is just, I don't really care for it. So I've been accustomed to my Young Nails, my Kiara Sky, my Glam and Glitz, my bead, my liquid to powder ratio is typically the same with those brands. So I like to stick with things that I'm familiar with or that, you know, pearl the same way as the other products that I use, versus with Mia Secret, I literally had to change my whole bead to liquid ratio with that brand. And it's too much for me. I don't like it. I feel like I can't get a lot of designs that I personally like to have with that, but Mia Secret is a no-no. When it comes to other stuff, I definitely will use it. I like to use name brand things. You don't have to use name brand products to make very pretty nails. You really don't. You can be using Valentino and your nails look like Chop Shop nails. It doesn't really matter what product you use. It's you, the nail tech, that makes the art. You make the product look good depending on the product. If the product is crap and you're really good, you can probably make it work. But if you're and the product is then the nails are probably gonna not look as good. But if you use, you know, pretty good products and you're pretty good as a nail tech, you'll notice like, okay, I could use this looks pretty decent, versus, you know, really bad products can sometimes hinder you. So That is one thing I've noticed using different acrylic brands. I like to stay within the same familiar ones at Pearl and make the same type of beads compared to like other brands that are more runny when I have to change my ratio and things like that. I stay away from those. So I always get asked this question, why do I always say on my Instagram, I don't use a drill for shaping, I'm a no drill nail tech, no drill, no drill, no drill, no drill. So I'm gonna bring it all the way back to when I was in nail school and what my instructor basically told us, and also give you guys a little example. So at the school that I went to, yes, we learned a little bit of drill, but that was not their main focus. They wanted us to learn how to properly apply acrylic to the natural nail without using an assistant, which is the drill. So with that being said, we learned how to properly put acrylic on nails where you have an apex and you don't need a drill to shape or to deal with bulkiness. We were trained specifically on doing stuff with our own hands. These right here, this is all I need to do nails. I don't need a drill. So when it came to students that we had in our class, they already worked in a shop and they were coming to school to get their license. Now, they could do some nails. When I tell you they could do some nails, they were phenomenal at doing nails. But guess what? They needed a drill. When they were learning how to apply acrylic correctly, they could not apply acrylic correctly. They needed a drill to deal with the bulkiness and the lumpiness. I didn't need a drill. Everybody that was in class that was learning, like, yeah, we couldn't, our end product looked like how their product looked with a drill. So them using a drill, they were trained, drill, drill, drill. They didn't learn how to properly lay acrylic on the nails and they needed that drill. So my teacher always would say, what would you do if your drill broke? Would you just not be working that day? Like literally, you're servicing a client and your drill dies and you don't have the charger. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna go home for the day? No, you need to know how to properly lay acrylic. And so I don't mean that in any shade or anything like that, because I use a drill sometimes, like if I really do not feel like, you know, doing the application. If I don't feel like pushing back the cuticles and doing it the old school way, I may do a Russian manicure with my drill. But when it comes to my shaping and when it comes to my acrylic application, I do not use a drill. That is something that I specialize in, and I rant and I rave and I promote that a lot because I really feel like I am a real nail tech. I do not need a drill to assist me on doing nails. Now, for people that may have, you know, difficulties with hands, like, you know, carpal tunnel and things like that, people that have been doing nails for a long time, like my instructor, like sometimes she may use a drill, but she doesn't use a drill. Like even to this day, she don't use a drill. But for people that do have difficulties, like I can understand if you need one, because you know, have difficulties, you have something that's hindering you from doing nails without one. But that was kind of the thing that was said in school, and to seeing it actually with my own eyes, seeing how people that were already working in the shop knew how to do nails, but only with a drill. They did not know how to properly lay acrylic on nails where it's smooth and no lumps and no bumps, and it's not chunky and not too thick, depending on the length and the shape of the nails. So that is one of the reasons why I rant and I rave and I really promote that I'm a no drill nail tech, because I literally do not need a drill when I am doing nails. No shade to any nail techs that do use a drill, but me personally, I don't use a drill. Will I use a drill in the future? Possibly so, but I'm sticking with my trade. That's something that I'm really proud of saying, that all of the artwork that you guys have seen, you see this artwork all done with my own hand. I didn't need a drill to assist me in getting my apex correct. I've had these nails on for almost a whole entire month and they have not. No lifting, proper acrylic application, no drill needed. So that's why I really rant and I rave and I promote that I do not use a drill, because I was trained to properly lay acrylic the correct way, where I do not need an assistant, which is the drill. So again, no shade to anybody that uses it. It does speed up the time when it comes to your services, but what is something that I have noticed that my clients really, really love about me compared to other nail techs is that I don't use a drill. So that makes me stand out even more so. Is I do freehand painting. I like doing sculpted nails, and I don't use a drill, that really makes me stand out more so than other nail techs and makes more clients want to come and book with me. That can also touch on the how to build clientele question. But having something to have you stand out more and have clients want to come to you, that's one thing that I really wanted to focus and stick with and promote. Was I'm a no drill nail tech. I don't need a drill to slay nails. I really don't. So that's why I always promote I'm a no drill nail tech. Not saying anything is wrong with using a drill. Sometimes a drill is needed for like encapsulation and things like that, but for a basic set, I do not use a drill, and I will promote that because that's personally how I was trained at the school that I went to. I'm a no drill nail tech, I'm a freehand nail tech, I'm a sculpting nail tech, I'm a licensed nail tech in 2 states, Nevada and Illinois. I've been a licensed nail tech since May 2019. I am currently a mobile nail tech. I am considering opening a shop soon. I'm not going to speak too much in this video, but I am looking into opening a suite here in the Chicago area where I am based. I do fly back to Las Vegas. Hopefully I've answered all of those questions that you guys had for the month of January. If you guys have any other questions or comments or concerns, definitely leave them in the comment section below and I will respond to them in my February 2021 FAQ video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe and follow me on Instagram, guys. I do connect and talk to you guys more frequently on my Instagram than I do here on my YouTube channel. So I'll see you guys over there and I'll see you guys in my next video.